The human right to defend oneself is something I take very seriously. One of the main reasons I started making videos in the first place was to document my training in Taekwondo, which itself was the result of my cousin and I surviving a home invasion in late 2014. That day, I made a choice. Even though I am disabled, if faced with another situation like that, I would never again sit by helplessly and wait to be killed. I have no grand delusions about being transformed into a deadly warrior. My mindset is simply that if I have to go, I can at least do my best to take a criminal with me. While I have spoken in the past about the legality of self-defense here in South Africa, I've never explicitly talked about why I believe the right to bear arms should be seen as fundamental to the human condition. I think I am fairly accurate in saying that in recent years there has been an intense and ongoing effort by the world's governments to disarm ordinary civilians. In my country, it is currently still legal for people to own firearms, but the process to get licensed is difficult and expensive. Furthermore, our legal system does not recognize the defend your castle or stand your ground approaches to self-defense. What this means is that even if an intruder breaks into your home in the middle of the night, you are not permitted to kill them with your gun or any other weapon unless you can prove beyond doubt that they intended to harm you or your family. This also means that South Africans can't use lethal force to defend their personal possessions. So if you're unfortunate enough to be robbed while also being unable to afford comprehensive insurance, you're pretty much out of luck. Our law does technically allow the use of reasonable force, but lately there has been a marked increase in the number of violent criminals claiming mistreatment during arrest, so think of that what you will. These problems aren't limited to my home either. Over in the United Kingdom, it is illegal for citizens to carry anything classed as a weapon, but follow the news and you'll see that all that's done is make law-abiding people into soft targets for those who do not play by society's rules. In the United States of America, gun control is always a hot button issue. The right to bear arms is protected by their constitution, but that hasn't stopped various celebrities and activist groups from aggressively campaigning for guns to be taken away. American anti-gun activists often cite the phenomenon of school shootings as a reason why firearms should be removed from daily life, and if listened to at the most basic level, this argument can be made to seem valid. If you consider the problem more deeply though, that reasoning falls apart. It seems to me that a good portion of those who oppose civilian weapon ownership do so from a place of irrational fear. They think of guns and knives as these terrifying alien objects that can only ever be used to harm the innocent. This fear drives them to conjure a utopian fantasy where, if only weapons didn't exist, nobody would ever do anything violent. This manner of thinking is lazy and ignores an inescapable truth of human nature. We have a disturbingly large capacity for evil. If you take an honest look at the culture in which modern school shooters are raised, you'll see that flaming guns for school shootings only avoids the real cause and prevents it from being seriously addressed. Children today are raised believing almost from birth that they are special, and just by virtue of their existence, they deserve to be celebrated and praised, giving kids the impression that they are wonderful creatures who can do no wrong and can have whatever they want from the world is not just irresponsible, it's dangerous. Life in the real world is not designed to cater to our subjective feelings and desires. In order to be respected and thought of as special, you actually have to accomplish something of value. Another aspect of this tragic pattern is that humans as a species have become so materialistic and shallow that in many families, even those where both a mother and father are present, both parents are constantly working to maintain the lifestyle they believe they need in order to be happy. What happens to the children then? Well, they are dumped in daycare, or worse, left alone to be raised by the internet and television. The end product of all this is kids who are poorly socialized and bursting with false entitlement. These unfortunate souls will be smacked in the face by life's unfairness one way or another, and that shock has and will continue to cause some of them to snap. I am not by any stretch arguing that lethal weapons should be available to anyone and everyone. I am fully in support of rigorous training and instilling a sense of responsibility in anyone who wishes to pick up a weapon of any kind. All I'm saying is that by making it illegal for people to protect themselves, all you will do is turn decent folks into criminals. I know that some of what I've talked about here is uncomfortable, and that many people might disagree with my point of view, which is totally fine, because I encourage open and respectful dialogue, especially about the hard stuff. If you enjoyed this video, then please consider supporting me via PayPal. Any amount would be greatly appreciated. For now, farewell.